Well, hello there, my fellow miners and crafters. Good times. Scar here, bringing you another super awesome Minecraft episode. And in today's episode, we return to our house building project to complete our guest bedroom on the left-hand side of our house. We're going to be building beds and chairs and desks and all sorts of great stuff. So let's get this episode underway. Alright, welcome back to Scarland, and look at this beautiful sunset rising above our house building project. And like I said, we'll be working on our guest bedroom. So in our last episode, I mentioned that we needed some ideas for our, close the door behind us, for our house, and specifically our left-hand side of our house. So what we need to do is come up with something for this side and that side, and I asked for suggestions, and one of them was, you should build a guest bedroom for when Dr. Rosen's in town. Well, just happened to be Dr. Rosen's coming into town this weekend, and let's build him a guest bedroom in Scarland. But we still need something on this side, and I'm just going to start building the walls while we talk, and some suggestions were a game room, or what was the other idea? Game room and a home office. So the home office actually comes from a subscriber mentioning this way back at the start of this series. And I apologize, I forgot the name of the subscriber. But they mentioned that it would be awesome if we built somewhere for, Scar to come up with plans and different ideas for projects. And I thought that was a really cool idea, along with a media or game room. So what of those ideas do you guys think would be a good idea? So I'd love to hear your guys' opinion on that such topic. Alright, so let's just finish these walls. So what we're doing here is we're just filling in here, trying to get some walls to establish some boundaries of our different rooms we want to work on here. So it's keeping things good here, keeping things tidy. There we go. Let's actually move this one over here. Nope, we're going right here. Go right in the middle. Trying to find the middle spot there. And these are just temporary doors for this side. We may or may not go with a wall here, just doing it for scale and different reasons like that. As you can see, the floor is checkered. That is because we went with the tray ceiling down in the living room, which is below us here. And of course, that led us to design challenges up above, but we decided the ceiling looked too good to pass up, so we had to do that. So my idea here is to put another slab floor down. I was going to go with carpeting, but there's a few limitations, and the sheer cost of carpeting is a little bit much, and I decided that I'll save the carpet that I did make that I was thinking about using for another project. And I'll show you some of those design things in a moment. So what we're doing here is we're just putting down our slab floor, and then we'll start on our bed and our ceiling and different things like that. So I'm running on the new snapshot. I was hoping to find a horse to ride in on this new episode in grand fashion, but unfortunately I couldn't find one. But they're still awesome, and I've been playing with them in a creative world where I can spawn them with spawn eggs, and they are definitely got to be the best thing Minecraft has ever added. They add this whole new element to Minecraft. I just can't even explain it. Like, just the fun that these things are going to add to the game. And what are your guys' thoughts? So I know some people are thinking that it's a little much. They like to keep, Minecraft simple and things like that. And I agree with that. And I think that's an important thing as Minecraft goes forward, is to not get absolutely carried away and have crazy stuff added to the game that doesn't fit within the Minecraft universe. There's just certain things, like say you were going to add some type of craft that would take you around. I would say a fighter jet, some type of jet, would not fit the Minecraft's theme. Would you agree with that? But what would a craft of getting around the map? Some type of sailing ship? Like you wouldn't want to pick a motorboat or something, because I don't think that would really fit Minecraft's theme. Maybe for a mod, but not the basics of Minecraft, the vanilla. So what I would say is if you were going to add a flying thing, you would add a hot air balloon instead of a fighter jet. That's just what I think. And I think with horses fit the world of Minecraft. Like there's a cow and a pig, and so it's along those lines of kind of reality of, there's horses and pigs, and those kind of go with each other. So I think horses complementing all the current creatures and all those things like that. So I think it's a great addition to Minecraft, and it does not go outside the boundaries of the simplicity of Minecraft. That's at least my opinion. I'd love to hear what you guys think on that. And we're going to start on our bed here. So we're going to pull out some things of our inventory. But I think that analogy works, is if you were going to add like a way of transportation, you wouldn't add a car to Minecraft, but you would add a horse. I think that's better than the hot air balloon. I just really want a hot air balloon. That's just my point. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're just going to fill that in as a temporary bed thing. We're not going to build an actual Minecraft bed, a functional bed, but kind of a decorative bed, if you will. So let's see here. How do we want to accomplish this? I think we want to do kind of a headboard back here. And let's see. Let's grab out that. I'm just kind of winging this bed here, just seeing what we could come up with. We could maybe put some bed rails on the side, or not bed rails, but nightstands on the side. And let's see, just dig down here a little bit. Sometimes it's fun just to kind of make up things, kind of go along and kind of see what you can get out of things. All right, so let's just try that. Then we'll put, I think I've tried this before actually on another build. We'll see if we can emulate that somehow. There we go. Let's just add another one here. There we go. Because I want to use the carpeting. So I want to use the carpeting. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. And I'm going to take that out and fill that in as a solid. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so let's grab out our pillow and our blanket. So there we go. We got kind of a cool little bed there. Kind of nice. Now I was going to show off the carpeting like I did here. I think it adds an extra little height to it. If this was just flat carpet like I've done on previous builds, I don't think it would look as well. I think this adding this carpet on the top adds that extra little height to the bed, makes it stand out a little bit more. I think that looks kind of cool. Okay, so now let's see here. So we got our slab floor, we've got our ceiling, but over here is very blank and it needs some decoration. So let's grab out our axe here. Let's just add some bookshelves here. I think that'll look nice. There we go. When in doubt, always add a bookshelf or a potted plant. Either one. There we go. Perfect. All right. There we go. That looks good. All right. So I wonder what we could do over here. So let's see what we have in our way of inventory. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's grab out some. Let's grab out some green wool. There we go. Grab that. As you can see, it took a ton of green wool to get that much carpet when I was kind of testing out different things. It just doesn't seem worth it. I think a carpet should be, if you're going to use 2 pieces of wool to get a carpet, you should get at least 4 pieces of carpet in return. I think that would be fair. Let's just try and make it a little chair for our room. You know, a little sitting chair. Let's see. So I don't think we're going to be able to do that quite how I wanted it to. There we go. Because I would like to put a piece of, well, let me see here. Now that looks weird. That looks weird. Looks like the Incredible Hulk. All right, so let's just cut down in here. There we go. One thing I would love Minecraft to do is if they could add, let me get into a spot where we could demonstrate this. Say we put down a slab like that and we wanted to put another colored slab on top of it. It doesn't let you. It would have solved this problem that we have with this checkered floor instantly. But unfortunately, that's not implemented at this time. And I wonder what kind of design or limitations it is that that's not incorporated in Minecraft. All right, so there we go. So we got a chair. I like it. I think it's pretty good. But I'm going to change it up and add a desk there instead. And I want to get your guys' opinion if you like this or the desk better. So let's knock this out. So we got an idea what that looks like now. So we can try a couple different options for this area. I don't think a couch would look good in this spot. I think it might be a little too big because we would go 3 real wide, then have our handrails on the sides. It might be a little confining. So let's just cover that back up. And let's see here. Let's see, what can we do with the desk? So let's knock these out here. And let's see, where is full slabs? There they are. So let's grab those out. Grab that. Come across here like that. There we go. And let's cut in here for our chair. Whoops, we need to put one more there. Perfect. And let's see, let's grab out our pressure plate. Oh, I wonder if we could do this with carpet. Let me just test that out. I don't think so now that I could see what it's going to do. If we could, no, we can't. I was trying to do similar to we did downstairs for our dining room table. There we go. For our dining room chairs. There we go. Perfect. Now we got a little desk, a nice little desk over here. So let's just add a nice window across here. Perfect. Oh, that looks very nice. I don't have any glass, but it looks very nice. Let's see. How can we decorate this a little bit better? Well, let me go get some glass and I'll be right back. All right, so let's pop back in our room here. And let's see here. So we got some glass. So we can see what this looks like. So I want to know what you guys think. If the desk looks better or the chair. Now, I don't think we're going to be able to put a button on this side for, like, you know, if you were to open up like a drawer or something. Sometimes I like to do that because it's two half slabs. You can't place the button there. And I also don't think we're going to be able to put anything on the desk either because it is one above. Yep, we won't be able to put anything on there. That is a problem. So let me know what you guys think on which one looks better. A or B. So the desk would be B, A would be the first choice we had, which was our desk. But we can fancy up our room here. Guess we have to go down another plane. I wish we could just place blocks however we want, but we can't. All right, so we need to grab out some plant life. Let's see, which plant should we pick? Birch. Which one should we choose? I always like the birch. I think it goes well with everything. It's nice and kind of bushy. There we go. Place that in there. Perfect. Okay, perfect. There we go. All right, so give me 1 second. I'm going to put up some lights up on the ceiling and I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. And we're first going to take a look at some of the stuff that I finished in the hallway. So I added some lighting units up in the window. So we got some redstone lamps up there. Added some portraits to kind of spruce up the hallway, make it a little less bland. And yeah, I think this came out pretty nice. Added a little window, some potted plants on the sides. So yeah, the hallway went from awkward to awesome. And now let's head into our finished guest room. So of course we have our bed on this side and we have our desk on the other side. Of course, this is choice B of our two options that we could choose from. We could choose from A, which was the nice chair, kind of reading area, or we could choose from B, this little desk here with some maps of Scarland. So of course there we are right now in our house right there. And this is an overview of the entire Scarland. I think it's pretty cool. This took absolutely forever to fill in all these areas walking around, but this is the entire Scarland where I do all my work. So, you know, you have your desert cube there and the tree farm over there and things like that. I think it adds a nice element to our desk because we can't put anything on top of the desk, which is kind of frustrating. But yeah, so we have our nice lighting units up on our ceiling here like that. And yeah, well, we got this incredible view. So I decided not to go with a day bed like we did on the other side. And I went with this kind of step here. And you can kind of look out over the landscape of Scarland. You can see Scar Pandora over there. Look down where we're going to build our garden, where we're going to do lawns and flowers and bushes and all sorts of cool stuff down there. And yeah, so there's our bedroom, guys. I hope you really enjoyed the video because that's why I make videos. And if you believe the video deserved a rating of some sort, that would be much appreciated. And until next time, this has been Good Times with Scar, and we'll see you later. There we go. Let's get out our glowstone. Yes, this will work. There we go. One there, and one there. Perfect. I like that. I think that came out quite nice. Now we can remove these torches right here.